Hello and welcome to the premiere of my new RenderMan for Blender plug or script, which I use for checking out volumes and clouds, etc. So this is something which I thought would be useful to people because there's a lot of different settings which are necessary to get RenderMan volumes working correctly. Some of them are stored on the object, some of them are stored on the shader, some of them are in environments, some of them are in integrator, some of them are elsewhere. So what I've done is I've taken a lot of the information from this tutorial, which is from the folks at RenderMan, and I've integrated it into a plugin, and you can get the plugin from GitHub in the link which is down below this video, or will be in the anything else where it's shared. And the GitHub will actually have this RenderMan TD 3.2, which is the current build because I've been building it for a couple of days. Still not a final release, but it works. So what we do with this is we take it, I'm just in the other window at the moment, I'm going to drag it into my screen here, and it'll say, do you want to add it? And you say, okay. And I'll do it a second time to be sure. Okay, and now if I check my preferences and add-ons, you'll see it's actually there. Not only is it there, but there's a new tab down here in my N window down here. So this interface allows us to activate and to work with a lot of different things within RenderMan and within the world of volumes. We can create, for example, a haze, which will be an atmospheric haze. Let's just zoom out so we can see that. Now, we may have a haze, but we want to be able to see it. So to do that, we're going to put in a test light rig. So I'm putting in a test light rig here, and you can see it's generated a test light rig. So it's got a fill light and a key light, etc. And now if I run my RenderMan, because RenderMan needs to be installed for this to work, but once we start putting a volume in, it'll actually make sure it starts instantaneously. So let's just do an IPR to the viewport, and we'll see we have a volume, which is correct and working for us. Let's stop the IPR. We can also do a ground fog, which is a smaller box, but we can make these any shape we want. We can also make anything we have into a volume. So I'm going to make our monkey shape here, and let's just increase the size of it. I believe our monkey is called Suzanne. Let's move Suzanne over here, and let's rotate her around a little bit. So I can turn her into a volume. If I go to make selected volume, we now allow all of the volume attributes will be there. And if I go to IPR to viewport, we'll see Suzanne as a volume, and we can actually change Suzanne's volume settings. So let's stop our IPR again. And let's get rid of these objects because we don't want to work with them. Let's work with something a lot more interesting. With clouds, clouds are generally made with VDBs. We can build them inside Blender as well if we want. We can build them inside various other packages, Houdini being one of the main ones. And one of the ones which is very popular and very nice people are the people from JangaFX. Now, if you're not used to making clouds, they do actually have a cloud pack you can download, and I'll show you some of those here. So we click on here, you'll see we've got these different clouds which I've downloaded. It's about 104 meg to download, so they're reasonable size and they'll work quite quickly. But if you really want to push the limit, we can go for the cloud dataset from Moana, which is available from Disney, and I'll put these links all in the video so you can get them. Now this is very large. My advice is go for the half scale one if you're using it at all, because they're huge files, 3 gig zipped. It will work, but it'll slow down your computer. I've got a very fast computer, thank you to Dell and NVIDIA, but still it's not worthwhile to actually push it for the demonstrations which I'm doing now. I'd rather have interactivity. But these are some very nice data sets which you can work with if you haven't got your own clouds created. Let's start making or importing a VDB. So I'm going to go import VDB, and I'm going to go to where I have my cloud pack. You can see I've got the Walt Disney Animation Studios cloud here as well, but I'm going to go to this cloud pack here. And I think one of the ones I liked was, let me have a look. Yeah, Cloud 3. Okay, and import that. And you can see it's imported a cloud. And it's got some settings set already. Let's just have a look at it. The colors come in slightly brown clouds. Let's have a look at what it looks like. Hard to see what's going on there. Not exactly what we're looking for yet, but let's stop our IPR. And before we progress with this much further, let's just change our diffuse color. Change it to 111. Or RGB, I want 111, I should say. So it's going to be white. So if I now go to render, IPR to window, you can see we have it rendering there. Okay, which is quite nice. What would be cool though is if we could put in an environment daylight to make this work. So we can do that within this. Let me just stop rendering here. And I'm going to add, I could put my test rig back in again, but I'm going to put in my environment daylight. Now I built this as a separate plugin, but I've integrated it into this because it really works well with it. So I'm going to add environment daylight. And we can see we have the settings for it here. If I go to render again, IPR to viewport, we can see we have the settings built in here. So if I was to change the date or the time of the hour, it updates and we get different lighting conditions. We can also override the setting and have it set for a time which will generally give us nice shade and shadows for our cloud. Various other settings are available here. Now, one of the things which we can do as well is we can change our VDB properties. So if we just deselect and select and go to VDB properties, we'll see we have density multiplier. This is one of the properties which you'll see is spoken about in the RenderMan materials here. So the volume settings, it's the density multiplier is what they talk about here. Let me see if I can find that here. Volume settings, max path length. No, that's not the one we're looking for here. Density, there we go. So it can be either less dense or more defined as an object. So if I change this setting here to, where is it? We go density multiplier, change that up. And I'll stop and restart. Sometimes it'll work instantly. Sometimes you need to just give it a nudge to restart it. We can see this is making slightly more defined for us. Now we also have settings here for anisotropy and for sampling, and under render settings as well. We have ray depth and all those other cool things which we might need. Now, it doesn't have an integrator set at the moment, so let's try creating an integrator. It doesn't necessarily do that instantly for us. It's something I'm debugging currently at the moment. So if I go to my scene settings here and my render, and let me just go to here, integrator. Let me see, where am I? Oh, I need to stop my IPR before I do that. And then go to integrator. Let me do this. Where are we? One second. So my bad there, I was just struggling to find the integrator panel here. So if I now add an RenderMan integrator node tree, you can see that's available here, and it's also put it into our panel here. So the benefit of all of this is we now have all the different aspects. We have the integrator, the path tracer, ray depths, everything else available in one handy dandy, easy to use panel, so that when you want to tweak your settings to make the perfect clouds, they're all available in one place, and you don't have to keep on going backwards and forwards to all the different interface elements, and it makes it much easier to iterate and work with clouds. So let's just play with some of these settings. Let's go again interactively, we'll just do some work here. So let's change our, what will I change? I'm going to change my indirect bounces to say 64. We can change our max path length to 1. So you can get some nice definition going on there. We can change our anisotropy. I'm going to change it back to 0. Secondary set it to 0 as well. Updating all the time. Ray depths, specular, max diffuse, set that to 64. So again, as we do this, we're constantly updating what's happening with our cloud, and we can actually tweak it until we get exactly the results which we're looking for. I'm going to leave it there. We're just about 11 minutes. I leave it for you to have a play with. As I said, this is still an early version of the toolset. It will actually be updated substantially as we go to add various noise aspects and various other defaults which we'll be able to save and reload presets. So that's it for the moment. I will be updating it, but I have several other plugins which I'm currently making.